Hello and happy Vlogmas Day 10. I didn't vlog today because today was much like yesterday in that I was really busy on computers between work and my stuff. I just have been on the computer all day. I did go for a walk. I didn't even get to work out, or I could have, but I didn't, you know? So what I decided I would do is bake. We are gonna bake today and do a Q&A at the same time. We'll see how this works out. And this isn't really a Christmassy bake. I'm also aware that I don't really make things very Christmassy. I'm also aware that I don't make things really Christmassy on my channel. I have a tree in the background though. Maybe that helps. And I also have this shirt that says, "Oh dear." So we are actually making more of a fall recipe because I have pumpkin left over. So we're gonna make pumpkin bread. And then I was gonna go and make this, or I was getting all the ingredients, and I completely forgot that I was almost out of flour. But luckily we have just enough to do half the recipe. I don't have mixing bowls, so this is what I use. I asked for mixing bowls for Christmas. The oven is preheating. I have all the ingredients here, and it looks like you just throw everything into the bowl, starting with the flour. This recipe is from Simple Veganista. I will link it down below, particularly if it's good, but I think it will be because it has good reviews. I apologize that this is so far away and that this may be crooked, but my other tripod is just not high enough and this one is not low enough. So this has got to work, and I'm hoping I can do that, like actually focus on this. Let me get the, hold on. Oven's preheated. Got some more measuring spoons. But yeah, I'm gonna be talking at the same time, so let's see how this will work. I posted this on my Instagram story and asked for just random questions on any topic. So we're just gonna start with the first one. Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years, and do you plan on staying in Georgia? Oof, that's a deep question for me, honestly, because I don't know. I don't know where I plan to be in 5 to 10 years because where I thought I would be 5 years ago is not where I'm at. And not that it's bad. Like I'm okay with where I'm at, but nothing worked out according to plan, you know? 5 years ago, I was in a completely different job, a completely different headspace, a completely different city, or not completely different, but a different city, a different relationship, all these things, and now it's different in all those areas and more. So I don't know. Ideally, let me start with the first one. Do I want to stay in Georgia? Is that what it was? Do you plan on staying in Georgia? This is a tough question too, because like I don't know. I want to move. I just have no clue where. What I really like about Georgia is that it's relatively safe. And what I mean by that is that natural disasters don't really happen here like that. You know, occasionally there will be occasionally there will be tornadoes or big storms. Sometimes flooding, that's happened before, but I've never really experienced it because I've always lived in Metro Atlanta, which is like outside, a little bit outside the city. And that's really important to me, to be honest. The other places that I would want to move to, like California, I don't think I would want to live there anymore just because of everything. Aside from the weather and the food, I don't think I would want to go there again or like live there. I need to visit Arizona because maybe I would definitely not move up north. Don't like the cold. Colorado was cool, but it's too cold. Florida's cool because I want to be toward the beach, but it's way too humid and the hurricanes. Like Georgia's okay. I might be okay with living in Georgia, but I think as I've gotten older, I've realized I want more silence in my life. Like I really, really appreciate silence, like the countryside. And so maybe I would live like up north in the Georgia mountains. This is really just a decision that needs to be made between me and who I were to be with, Sebastian. So In 5 to 10 years though, ideally I would like to be self-employed or financially independent, retire early, or on that path, like slow financial independence. Look it up if you're not aware of it. And successful in whatever business venture. I know for sure I'll be doing something for myself still, because that's just how I am. I want to be debt free, maybe have a house, maybe have some properties. I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of options, honestly. I have these ideals in my mind, but I try not to focus on that too much because nothing has worked out thus far in my life. But I guess that's the gist of it, you know? Next question. How do you stay motivated in your day job when it's no longer your main passion? Very good question. To be honest, science was never my main passion. I remember when I went to school, like I went to the advisor, or I don't know, it was some guy, career specialist or something at Georgia State University. And this was when I wanted to be a dentist. And I told him that one of the main reasons I wanted to be a dentist was so that I could open an animal shelter. And he looked at me like I was psycho. He's like, I don't think that's the best way to do that, because I wanted to like use my own money to open an animal shelter. And I told him that, and he was very nice about it, but he's like, I don't think that's necessary. And then after I realized I didn't want to be a dentist, I went toward the microbiology route because I had 3 years of biology under my belt at that point. And like, I'm not going to switch majors after all that. So I basically knew that I didn't want to do, I don't know, that sounds so bad because I do enjoy science to a certain extent. Like, it's interesting, and I did really well in school and it was kind of fun. I will say that right now things have been different because of COVID. I don't have to go to work. So like, not yet. I will be probably going into work more frequently starting in January, but I don't know exactly what's going on yet, how often. So for the last 8 months, 9 months, I've been home and it's really chill, to be honest. Like, I've tried to keep as busy as I can. And that looks a little bit different each day, but as a lab scientist, like, you have to be at a bench and doing science. It's kind of difficult to work from home. But before that, the main thing that motivated me is gratitude, for sure, because my job is pretty chill and awesome. I will say that I got really lucky on the people that I'm working with, my boss, my project, just everything about my job is pretty good. You know, I don't get all the benefits that I would like. I probably would like to be paid higher, to be honest, and things like that, but it's not a big deal to me because it's such a laid back job, which I genuinely appreciate. And also the other motivation is the people that I work with. So I really appreciate the people that I work with and not the sacrifices, but the help that I have received from them. My day job allows me to do what I am truly passionate about. So that's where it comes from, you know? And it's not like I was at work completely dreading everything that I was doing. When I do lab work, I do enjoy lab work. For the most part, I enjoyed it. It was fun to see my project progress when we were able to be at work. And so I would say I'm not miserable at work. Definitely not miserable, but I would have moments of feeling just like the dread, you know? And I will say that it is a means for me to invest in this business, this passion of mine, just, you know, being an entrepreneur of some sort and becoming whatever it is that I eventually become. That's how I would say I stay motivated through it. Yeah, so I would say gratitude, the money, and that it allows me this structure because, you know, working a full-time job is really helpful with routine and structure because you have to get more done in less amount of time when you're going to work and stuff. And I only would have the mornings or the evenings and the weekends to do my things. And I appreciate that, you know, about my full-time job. Next question. When do you think you'll stop renting and buy property? Who are you? No, I'm just kidding. Look, I would love to buy a house right now, but I'm not going to because I know and I feel in my soul that it's not right now, you know? So I would probably do that when I'm debt free. So by the time I'm 30, I am hoping to be debt free within a year and a half, less than that ideally. Will that happen? I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but I just would like to be completely debt free before I purchase a house. I also would like to have a decent down payment and savings so that I can do everything properly, like go into the house with the correct down payment, go into the house with enough money to purchase furniture and things of that nature. If anything needs to be fixed up, I want the money for it. If any emergency comes up, I would like to have the money for it. And I also don't know where I'm gonna live. So my current position, I can only stay in this position for 5 years. So if I don't get a different position at this current company, then I don't know where I'll be. So will I be in Atlanta? I don't know. Will I buy in a different city? Possibly. So there's so many options with it. That's why I don't want to buy a house, and I'm okay with renting right now. I understand that people think it's a waste of money, but I don't think of it that way because I'm living here and I absolutely love it. And it's been okay for me so far. I am managing pretty well considering all things. It will come in due time, you know? I don't think right now is the right time for me to buy a house. So I am 27 right now. I'll probably buy a house before the age of 30, and then possibly in the future I'll buy multiple houses to rent out. This is honestly really hard to multitask. Next question, where are you from? Sunglass face, sunglass face. Depends on how you're asking. I am from America. I was born in New York, Southampton, New York. I lived there for like 3 months, and then my family moved down to Georgia. So I was raised in Georgia, but my family, guys, my apartment complex is so quiet. So I am scared people are walking by and just putting their ear to my door, like, what is she doing? My family though, like ethnicity, I guess you could say, my mother is American. I don't know what the descent is. White, she's white. I mean, I'm white overall, but I don't know. She's from America. My dad was born in Iran. He is Iranian. So I'm half Iranian, half white, but technically white. So that's the answer. Next question. What is the accomplishment you are most proud of so far? This came from my sister. Thanks, Loretta. I would for sure say my financial journey, my debt journey, and just where I've come over the last couple of years. I know it may not be a big thing for some people, but for me, it's been a pretty drastic change just as far as my money mindset, my spending habits, everything like that. I also had a lot of financial drama with somebody else. Like, I was co-signed on a car and I handled that, and I am very proud of how I handled that situation. To be honest, at the end of the day, I feel very empowered from that situation. If you don't know the story, if you go on my financial channel, I have a video called My Worst Financial Mistake or something like that. And it ended up costing me thousands of dollars, but also a lot of emotional stress, and just, it was a very stressful time for me. And I overcame that. I don't know, it's just hard to explain. I just am so proud that I got through that, and that's out of my life, and I handled it the best way I knew how. Any tips for negotiating? For example, salary or rent? Oh, I just go for it. I lost the fear of, I don't have any like tried and true tricks, to be honest, or tips, whatever. I just try, you know? It helps if you have someone else there with you. For example, my dad always comes with me, well, like the 2 times that I leased a car first and then bought a car, and it helps to have him there, but I still tried to haggle too. Like, I would jump in and be like, no, what about this? And you just have to like have an idea in your head of what you're looking for and just ask for it, because the worst that can happen is they're gonna say no. So I would say just the main thing is working on your confidence to just speak up and take control of something like that, and have valid points for everything. Like, why are you trying to get a higher salary? I can't negotiate my salary. It's pay scale, so I can't. But like my rent, I did try to negotiate. They wouldn't budge the first time, but that's also because I got like a pretty good deal. And I just kept asking though, and giving different, like wording it differently, but asking for different offers too. But they did not budge on that. I did negotiate my rent increase after a year, and I gave my reasoning for like, this is too much. They increased it too much. And I said that I've never missed a payment, I've never made a late payment, and I do not have pets. So they did lower that for me. Yeah, so just go into it knowing what you're asking for and why, and have a valid reason for it. And then you gotta just increase your confidence and practice. That's it. And then it helps to have somebody there with you. Would you recommend microbiology as a career for other people? Yeah, I mean, it's a cool job, especially now that like COVID is a big thing, and I will be doing COVID research, and I guess that's pretty cool. It just depends on what you want to do. Like if science is interesting to you and you like to work hands-on and prefer to not be in an office. Pre-COVID, I really appreciated not being in the office. I liked to be in the lab. It's good if you are willing to fail a lot, deal with those normal science things, you know, like things go wrong and your experiments fail a lot. You have to start over. Sometimes you have to learn things that you don't want to learn, or do things that you really dislike, but that's any job. I would say go for it if you like it. I would say the knowledge can be challenging. Like for me, I find that retaining information is really a challenge. That's just always been difficult for me. I'm very studious. I did very well in school, but that's because I study well, and I can retain it for short amounts of time, but I can't retain the information long term. And that can be difficult with science, but yeah, otherwise I say go for it. I don't see why not. You're not gonna get paid tons and tons, but you can get pretty good jobs that are, I guess, pretty stable, just depending on where you go. There's a lot of government jobs, or universities, private labs, hospitals, places that are, you probably aren't likely to lose your job. I'm gonna try this. Ooh. All right, this says it has to bake for 55 to 60 minutes, but since I halved it, I'm hoping I can do 30. Okay, I still have a couple more questions, so once I'm actually trying that, which is gonna be, oh my God, it's like my bedtime, but once I'm eating that, I will answer those for you guys. First, let's get a thumbnail. This actually cooked really quickly, and it smells so good. The appearance, I cut it in the center, but it looks nice and moist. Here's a little piece of it. Now keep in mind I did cut the recipe in half, so I'm gonna try it without butter first. Wow, that's good. I guess this is like a mukbang now, right? Is that how you say it? I have 2 more questions. How did your beauty regimen change with budgeting? Is there anybody on here who used to watch my videos from like 9, 8 years ago? When I was in college, I was very into makeup, and when me and my sister used to have this channel. Actually, it was called Beauty Delish. I don't know where that name came from, but we would do like makeup stuff and hauls and hair, but we were like really into those things, and I wanted to be a beauty YouTuber. I would spend a lot of money on makeup. I wouldn't buy really high-end makeup. It would be like e.l.f. or Revlon. I would go to like the drugstore stuff, and I would spend a lot of money and time on makeup and hair. And I remember I used to wake up early in college because I had like a 7:30 class, and I would wake up like an hour and a half before that in order to put my makeup on because there was so much, like a full face of makeup for class. That soon dwindled down. Like, okay, so many sirens are driving by, don't mind them. That slowly dwindled throughout college, especially into grad school. I didn't care anymore. And that's not when I started my budget, but I'm getting away from the question. So my beauty regimen didn't really change. I honestly don't wear that much makeup. As far as skincare goes and stuff like that, I would say just before I was using like a bar of soap, a tea tree bar soap, and now I guess I upgraded to Pacifica face wash, and I use Barrio Badescu's Daily SPF. That's the only SPF that I have found to not give me a rash, and I've used that for years. My skincare, my beauty, all of that cost me like probably not even $50 for the year, and that's just because I became way more low maintenance when it came to beauty stuff, even before I started budgeting. So I would say it hasn't changed that much, and I guess I even upgraded to Pacifica. Speaking of beauty regimen, people keep asking for my hair care and my updated skincare, whatever. It's just funny because I don't know if the camera makes my face look better, or, I mean, I don't have acne, really. I mean, I do. I have some outbreaks, God. COVID. I do have some breakouts occasionally, like I have pimples, and like I have a really painful one on my nose right now. But my skin is not that great, and I don't know if the camera changes that. This does not have a smoothing effect, but my skincare is very simple. So I can talk about it in a future vlog, but everything is really simple that I do, and my hair is long, but it's honestly not doing that well these days. Like, I can hardly brush it. Even I'll brush it, and then a minute later, I can't brush through it again because it's all tangled. I was actually thinking about doing a short haircut, and then I'm like, whoa, settle down. I won't do that. Trust me, I don't look good with short hair. I look, like right now, I look about, 16 years old. And if I cut my hair this short, I'll look about 12. So we're not doing that. Sometimes the long hair gets really in the way. Okay, final question as I go to eat a fourth of this bread. Do you consider yourself spiritual? Or how do you view life from a spiritual standpoint? Okay, this is an interesting question. I don't think I've been asked this, or at least I don't talk about it, just because it's something that's touchy for some people, and I don't really care. But growing up, my family never went to church. I've never been to a church service in my life, aside from I had to go to like a really Catholic wedding. So that was recent, like a year ago. That was my only experience with like doing anything religious. I was never taught, like I was never raised religiously or spiritually whatsoever. I know that my parents, I guess, believed in God. I don't know, it wasn't really a conversation. I was just never raised with it, and I was always very skeptical. Even as a child, I remember questioning why people went to church when I was in elementary school. I remember I did not want to do that, and I was questioning why it was that people did that, and that's fine if you do that. I'm not against that. As I got older, I definitely became more anti-religion. So early college, definitely in high school, I was like anti-religion and anti-God, non-believer completely all the way through. And I didn't care what anybody had to say. But then slowly throughout, I would say grad school is when I became more spiritual. So I don't necessarily believe in a God. I definitely believe that there is some higher power. I think the world is just too perfect. Like our bodies and the way everything works is too perfect for there not to be something higher up. I just don't know what it is, and it doesn't really matter to me. I'm definitely not gonna, go to church or pray to something in particular or expect anything. You know what I mean? worship something, I guess you could say, but I am more open to the fact that there's probably something more. Otherwise, I think they would be I don't know, honestly. And I did become more spiritual. I started attending in a spiritual sense. I started attending a Buddhist meditation center, and I went every single Wednesday for like 2 years. And then I recently stopped going, and obviously now with COVID, they're not holding it in person. That opened me up more to being spiritual within myself. Like, I just find the answers within myself. I give myself the power, because that's where it makes more sense to me. Like, I have control of a lot more than other things have control of me. So I would say I'm not religious. I'm still not religious. I'm not anti-religion, but I don't practice any specific one. I don't, follow any specific one. And I am more spiritual, I guess. And I just like to be a good person. I like to do good things, or try my best to do good things and find the answers within myself. I do meditate every single day, so I'm spiritual in that sense. I have wanted to be more spiritual. I think it's like more like an energy type of thing, but I just don't really resonate with that. Like, as much as I want to cleanse my crystals under the moon, and I don't even have crystals like that, but like, as much as I want to go down that route, I don't really connect with it. I think it's cool. I think it's awesome that people have that like ability to feel energies and things of that nature, but that's just not how it's worked for me. I like things to be very simple, so that's where I'm at with spirituality. Just very basic, I don't know how else to describe that. The longer I sit here and talk, the more I'm gonna eat. Y'all asked some good questions again, so thank you. I really appreciate it, to those of you who helped me out with filming Vlogmas Day 10, because otherwise I don't know what I would have done. But I did bake this pumpkin bread, and I've eaten almost half of it, so I need to stop. And I'm gonna end the video here. I think tomorrow we'll return to regularly scheduled programming of vlogging. I will say Vlogmas is quite a challenge, so it's been interesting, but it's been fine. And I am going to stop talking now, so I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. This will be linked down below. It's delicious. I love it, and it's vegan.